Okay, so pedicure time. I kind of started without saying anything. So first of all, I clean the feet with this, it's an alcohol-based cleanser, and then I use a 25% urea spray, and I kind of feel for the skin, so I can feel it that there's here probably a painful callus, which I'm going to reduce. I'm not going to remove it. I'm going to reduce. I'll talk about it later, the difference. And let's start with the nail cutting. So I don't do any soaking before because I prefer to work on the dry skin, because you can really, it's weird because when I do my own pedicure, I do it right after I take a shower. But you know, when you do your own feet, it's different because you feel differently. But when I do pedicures, I do them dry. There's less chances of over softening the skin, which for some people could be a problem. One of the most important things when it comes to pedicures is the corners. So to make sure they don't dig into the skin. I'll need this a little bit later. I do these little clips. That also helps not to squeeze the nail. Now I position myself a little sideways. So cutting into the corners is fine, especially when you have this, well, really only when you have this type of nail. I feel that following the shape, the natural shape of the nail bed is the safest way to go. But the key is not to leave like little pieces. You see? Now this is properly cut. Okay, let's take care of this one. Okay. Now again, I'm kind of sitting almost sideways. It's much more comfortable to get this side. See, if you cut like this, it can be painful. It can really dig into the skin. Sometimes people have sores over here because of how they cut. So even if you cut the nails, you should really smooth them with the file. And again, I'll go over the corners with a file. I find, so I work, this is a podiatry chair. So I have a chair that is like on wheels. And it's not like stuck to the pedicure station, which I don't know how people work. Oh my god, to me it's extremely uncomfortable. I guess it really depends on the height and everything else. But I'm tall and I just, no, I couldn't work. So this is nice because I can actually roll around and get myself in a good position so I don't have to twist my head. I'll get this nail, shorten this with a file. All right. Very good. So we used to have these files in our online store, but we don't have them anymore because we can't get them from the manufacturer. We've been asking and asking and asking and asking, and I don't know what's going on. Maybe they just don't like us or something. So yeah, I wish I had a date on when we're going to get these files. I'm looking for alternative, manufacturers, but these files are difficult to find. I mean, okay, so if you are in the States, obviously Erica has these files, so Erica ATA. They're not these exact files, but they're metal files that are of excellent quality. The reason why I like these files and why they're so different is because they're small. I really like the small files for the feet, and they're even thinner. So I really, really like them. But the other ones are, like I said, excellent as well. So I'll get back to this because this is all like kind of dead skin that is built up a little bit. I can reduce it. Okay. You know what I do with some clients? Sometimes I'll show you. I separate their toes with a paper towel. Sometimes when people's toes are kind of like very close together, it's a little bit difficult to work on them this way. So you can do it this thing. It's really, really helpful. See, you learn something every day. It's actually good to do this even as a bit of an exercise. If you have tendency to have like toes that are really tight, this will help them to spread out a little bit. Much easier to work on now. You can see everything that's going on. Okay, let's now nudge back the skin fold and then remove the cuticle. So I like actually using this tool for the nudging. For the pedicures. It just has a good curve and it's small. So you see the cuticle is here, so I'm not pushing the cuticle. Cuticle is very difficult to push, to nudge. I'm just nudging the skin fold. And that can be a little difficult too, but when clients take care of their skin a little bit, that skin becomes more elastic and it's much easier to then nudge it back. By the way, this tool, so we have a manicure pedicure kit that we sell. And this tool comes with it because I really do think it's really helpful, and this is a very good quality tool. So I've included that in the kit. So this nail is interesting because let's kind of go over it. What's what? So this here is a skin fold. Here, this is cuticle. This is cuticle. This is skin fold. So it takes a little bit of sometimes practice to know what's what. Sometimes if you have a hard time using this tool, you can try using, by the way, these come in our kit as well, this little tool, and just find one spot where you can nudge it back and just nudge it back like this without pressing really. I'm not really pushing down on a nail. See how nicely this goes? And now all you have exposed is the cuticle, and you're gonna remove this cuticle. So like one thing that I really want people to understand is what the cuticle is and what the skin fold is. So the cuticle now we're gonna remove, because if you shove everything under the skin fold, then how are you gonna remove it? Doesn't make sense. So once the skin fold is nudged back, then we're gonna remove the cuticle from the nail plate. See, this is cuticle. These are dead skin cells that are actually keeping the skin fold and the nail together. They're in between. So you see, this skin is first, cuticle is second, and then there's nail plate. And the nail bed is underneath. It's fascinating. I can talk about it all day, honestly. All right, but before we actually do the cuticle removal, I'm going to go over the hard spots with this bit, because this is how I do things. And then we'll do the cuticle removal. So I can't obviously get everything with this tool. This tool is pretty, I mean, it's precise, but it's a little bulky. So I'm going to go with another little tool. And I'm not a huge fan of having too many tools. It's really unnecessary to have too many tools. But especially for pedicures, there are a few tools that are, especially professional pedicures, a few tools that make life much easier, and you can do a really good pedicure with them. You know, if you obviously are not a professional and you just want to learn how to take care of your nails or your toes, you don't have to get an electric file. You really don't. I don't recommend that, because it's something that people really have to learn how to use, and it's difficult to learn how to use it on yourself. So when you care for the skin on a regular basis, there is barely anything to do during a pedicure. And if there is some hard skin, you can actually get it with a regular file too. It's just that this is more precise. It's true. But then again, this is why people pay me for this, right? Because this is something that's extra that I do, that I can do for them. Okay, so now with this bit, I'm going to remove the cuticle. And sometimes if there is a little bit of hardened skin around the nail, I can reduce it a little bit. I have to say, pedicures are my favorite thing to do. It's just, they're so satisfying. Look at that, amazing. Okay, so now I'm going to use this little comb bit. I put it on 16, but it's too high. Just to sometimes soften the edges a little bit here. I make sure that I'm not filing the nail here, because that's what a lot of people are doing. They file the nail instead of, has to be done very gently, because you can totally overdo it. And I'm going to go back on reverse now. This side. I can feel that there's a lot of like dead skin and just fluffies stuck in the corner. So I'm going to go back and clean it. And this is where people think that they have ingrown toenails and they don't. It's just they have painful corners because there's stuff stuck there. And I have to say, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to get to it yourself, but keep trying gently, and it's definitely possible to learn it. Just going to go with that little bit and just gently reduce this. Reduce, not remove. Sometimes it's useful for these little corners. I have to admit, these corners can be a little stubborn. So just keep doing it gently, like don't shove that tool too hard, and eventually you'll get it. I think I got it. I also run this tool along the side to just feel if there is any catches. When in doubt, this is what I do. I think this is called like a detail bit, I think. And sometimes it's just like a little callus. Again, don't like just blindly shove this. This is not very simple to do, but it can be very helpful. This is 13,000 RPM. Okay. I say okay, and then I keep going. Okay. Now I'm done. I usually ask the client, like I kind of press down and if everything feels good. So at this point, this is a fantastic little spray, refreshing. Okay, so you know how many times we think, well, it's paper, right? Like, how different can it be? I love these little discs from Stalex. They, the white ones, I think they only had white ones. They feel very good on the skin. Like, they're, I don't know how to describe it, they're kind of like buttery. And I love this system. I don't know, I'm actually very sad that I came across this maybe like the second time a year ago or something, because I think I've tried it in the past, but I didn't like it because it kind of felt like I didn't have control, but I just had to learn it. And I absolutely love it now. I love it, love it, love it. It's, I don't know. Filming this, I have to say, it's not easy. This part. Okay. So what I do is I kind of do this. Can you see? Of course, I'm gonna put it on a higher speed. Little taps, sometimes down. And the thing that I love about it is that it's so precise. It also has an edge, and I'll show you on the other foot where that edge really helps. So you see how I go over, and I don't file too much. Because sometimes, you know, this still looks dry, right? Which is fine. But the skin feels not as hard. So the aim for this part is to reduce the callus, not to remove dry skin. You don't remove dry skin by filing. It's like the worst idea ever. So I kind of pull the skin and I go like this. And I have the e-file in the reverse. See? Very good. Love it. So I only go with this over the hard areas. So this is 100 grit, by the way. And I mean, of course I have a proper extraction. Professional extractions for the salon, not some kind of, you know, this is no joke. Like, with e-file you need a proper extraction. Okay, now I go on this end. Okay, so that's it for this little bit, and I'm going to use this. Looks kind of really rough on camera, but it's actually, it's a diamond. I would say it's like a medium, and it's smaller, and you can go over the whole foot with this. And that's what I do, very gently. See how there's still cracks? But the skin is soft. I'm not gonna file until there's no cracks. It's insane. Because the cracks have to be addressed with skincare. Another. By the way, so when it comes to the extraction, I have personally used the Salon Air for many years. Actually, even before that, I used, if you are old enough to remember, if you're a nail tech, WTAC. It was an American company that made these tabletops. Like the extraction that was installed in a table, and it was absolutely fantastic. I don't know why they went out of business. So I'm going to now press on this side a little bit. Not on this side. Anyway, so that was like 20 years ago probably. And the good thing is, I don't know how they made it, but they were extremely quiet. They were excellent. So after that, I came across Healthier. And I have one of their units, and I've had it for, I don't know, probably 10 years now. And it's excellent, works really well. It's made in the US, and it's a little bit louder, but I mean, it is what it is. It's very good. And now they have different filters. So basically, I think you just buy one and you have to change it every 6 months. It's not cheap. I think the filters are probably like 200 or something. And the unit is over 1,000. But truly you cannot, I mean, I guess you could, but I absolutely do not recommend doing pedicures without any dry pedicures, without using any extraction. Not a good idea. And the second unit that I still have, because this one came from Canada with me eventually. So before it came, I actually bought a second unit. It's called Salon Air. Is it? Salon Air, yes. And that one is really good too. It's a little bit smaller, and the filters are more expensive, but it's a little bit less loud. And I would say both of them are good. Like this one is very quiet actually on the level 1. This one has 2 levels. It's a little bit louder on the level 2, which is a medium, and it's quite loud on the number 3. So right now I'm working on 2. And very often I work on 3 when I'm doing the heels. But the rest of the pedicure I do on number, so here's what I do. When the client sits down, I put it on 2 because it automatically goes to 2. And then I cut the nails, shorten them, remove the cuticle. Then I move it on to 3, the level 3. It's quite loud, but it's very effective. And I use it for the heels. And then I do another click, and then I work on number 1. I work it on number 1 for another, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes, just to make sure that all the, floaties in the air in the salon are gone. Sometimes what I do is, well, especially this summer, I have my manicure desk on my left hand side, the Salon Air, Healthy Air on my right side. And especially in the summer when it's super hot, I put on the manicure table on low, and the exhaust kind of blows, helping to move the air towards the filter. But it's very, very light, so it's not like we're sitting here, in a wind tunnel or anything like that. But that light movement just helps this filter. So that's what I do. And the other filter, also the one that I use on the table, the manicure table, is also like some super quality German HEPA filter specific for nails. Very quiet, excellent system as well. So I have 4 filters in this salon. I have the Healthy Air in my pedicure station. I have the Nova Flare in my manicure table. I have a Dyson And I have as a backup the Salon air. So the air here is super clean. That I have to say. Okay, we're done. So this took me an hour. This is no joke. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean the feet with a hot towel. Okay, so here's what I wanted to show you. You know how these looked cracked and, you know, awful? And I just said, okay, enough of filing. Look at this, the cream is on and it looks perfect. It feels perfect. It doesn't feel pink. It doesn't look pink. Same thing with this. Yes, it looks a little bit more like still yellow, a little bit harder, but that's fine. Obviously, we need it in this area, but it looks good. But no cracks, and people file too much. Same thing here, you see? People file too much. They try to remove the cracks, and that's not a good idea, because just put cream on. And that's not that the cream is hiding everything, it's just that I don't know, people overfile, which can cause more callus in the long run, honestly. My clients have less and less callus every time they come in, so that tells you something, no? Alrighty, I'm gonna take some pictures and we're done. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.